Yeah.
Just give it a few seconds. There we go. Now we're good. Yo, guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Bootios Boy Wrestling Fan Interview. Today I'm joined by my very special guest. He is Brother Greatness. He comes from Olympus? I think it is. I think we could say you're an Olympic god. How are you doing today?
I'm definitely not an Olympic guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing very well. My name is Brother Greatness. I'm the wrestling Christian on the road to greatness from Christchurch, Barbados. And yeah, I love doing the wrestling.
How are you doing during this pandemic? Staying safe, healthy during quarantine, and all that?
Yeah, I'm very similar to everyone else. It's been difficult. Going through the whole, lockdown, etc., blah, blah, blah. But I pretty much spent a lot of that time doing a whole lot of working out and a whole lot of praying. And even though it's still going on, I'm out here ready to compete. Actually had a match last night in New Jersey for SWF, and looking forward to Test of Strength in April.
Now, I noticed what you're wearing right now. Is that a fedora on your head?
Yeah, it's just like a little knit fedora from Barbados. I love these things.
So in the Rocky movies, he wears a fedora. That's what he has. Would you say like you're the wrestler version of Rocky wearing the fedora then?
I wish I could claim such a thing. Just more of a stylistic choice. I guess for the same reason. I mean, he just thought it looked good, so me and Sylvester could rock out.
Now, what have you been doing to stay in shape? You obviously said you've been praying and working out a lot during quarantine. What's your workout routine like? And do you have any home gym equipment like most people did?
Yeah, no, I have a ton of stuff here. If in here was a little bit less of a mess, I'd show you, but I got a couple ab wheels, 10-pound weight, 20-pound weight, 35-pound, 50-pound, a bench, some of those 2 sets of the perfect push-up, a couple of jump ropes in the yard, a bike, both just like the stationary one and the actual one, and an entire routine. Lately, I've been doing mornings, but during the lockdown, I was doing morning and night, 6 days a week, usually about 2 hours of training a day and eating anywhere between 4 and 6 times a day, 2,700 to 3,300 calories of mostly a disgusting amount of protein and vegetables. So that's been what that's been about.
Now, you have a tag team partner called Dashing D1000.
Yes, sir.
Where did you two meet? And you're actually called the Congregation. Like I said, I got my info from Don Kincaid, so I'm just reading
that's
what
a
he
good
sent
source.
me.
It's a good source.
You're in a tag team called the Congregation. I think I said that right.
Yeah, the Congregation. Yeah, myself, Dashing D1000. We were originally part of a large stable in Brooklyn called Omega Black, and that was back in like 2013. There was a long break, and when we returned together as Omega Black again, we decided, hey, listen, I think you and I would probably be the better tag team out of the group, and we started doing that I think 2018-ish, mostly in New England, and it's been a lot of fun.
Are you still the current Bronx Wrestling Federation Cruiserweight Champion?
Yes, sir. For the last 10 months, it kind of doesn't count. But outside of the last 10 months, yes, reigning and defending up until March 7th, when things started slowing down.
So would you say you're the longest reigning Cruiserweight Champion of that promotion?
Technically, I am, even when you disclude the coronavirus issues. The championship first started in, I think, December of 18. I want to say I was the first champion. The other champions that have held it in between my first and second reign both only held it for a handful of months. So I definitely have the longest reign. Nothing against Nikos Ricos and everything against Chris Cage, but that's just the situation as it stands. It's a new title, so having a longest reign is pretty easy.
Now, so you're technically a 3-time Cruiserweight champion.
2 times so far.
You should have just went with the 3. It would make you sound cooler.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put you over, and you just like, nah.
Yeah, it would have been great, but you can't be lying. I can't be sinning out here,
Oh yeah, that is true.
Try to limit the sin. Try to stay honest with
you. Now, to stay in gimmick character, have you ever almost got caught doing a sin during a wrestling match.
I mean, here's the thing. A sin, most people think a sin is a bad thing. A sin is when you do anything that separates you from the Lord. Now, I'm a sinner. It's what it is. In or out of character, doesn't matter. Both are pretty tight-knit if you ask anybody. It's just me turned up to an 11. But one thing that's really important to realize is that myself as a person, Brother Greatness, people in general, everyone's going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to sin. Everyone's going to mess up. It's just about what you do after that.
Uh-huh.
Right? So it's like people are going to catch me doing all kind of foolishness. I'm pretty sure a few fans has heard me utter a curse word or two. And I'm just like, I should have done that. Don't excuse yourself. I messed up. It was me. Forgiveness, please.
Well, what I meant was, like, kind of in your character, like, maybe you're not allowed to do fly. I mean, you are a cruiserweight. You're a little guy. No offense. But like little guys like you like to do high flying maneuvers, high flying moves. Maybe in like your religion and wrestling, you're not allowed to do that. So like that's what I meant by have you ever done like a bad sin like that? If you
no, nothing like that. Flying around and all that stuff definitely does have a negative impact on my Christianity.
Now,
they're like, how dare he do a clothesline?
He needs to do flips and only flips.
Flips and flips alone, no punches.
Mm-hmm. Now, at Ryder Smokehouse, that's where TOS holds their events. It's very small. It's a big ring, but it's very small for anyone when they're on the top rope. You almost hit your head, if I'm correct.
Yes.
In October. Have you ever hit your head on a ceiling when doing a high flying move like that?
That's a good question.
You probably don't remember because you hit your head then.
Yeah, I actually don't think I've ever hit my head on the ceiling at a low roof show. You get a lot of those that, like the show yesterday for SWF, that you couldn't stand on the top rope. The roof was so low. What has happened a couple times? Usually, like my foot might hit the top of the ceiling. That's definitely happened a couple thousand times.
Now, have you been? I feel so bad because obviously you can tell that I did my research on you. You did say you'll be at Test of Strength. Do you have an opponent already?
No, they haven't announced an opponent for me yet. I just know that I'm supposed to be wrestling at Dear Norma in April. Test of Strength Wrestling. Lord knows what match they'll have me in. Hopefully it's something that could lead to title implications because I would very much like to get my hands back on the K1 Classic trophy. That would be very nice.
Wait. Speaking of that, you were the first champion, even though it is a trophy, but you were the first champion of the K1 Classic.
Yes, sir.
And Sammy Diaz took that away from you. Any revenge plans on him?
I definitely don't work in the realm of vengeance. Sammy Diaz did what he did to win the championship. Definitely wasn't something I would consider positive, fair, nor holy, fair, acceptable in any way, shape, or form. But the Lord will take care of him. I'm not worried about coming for Sammy specifically. But if we cross paths again, my memory is vast.
Now, obviously, Test Strength, the current K1 champion is Mike Skyros. He is a tough SOB. I'm not going to swear to your Christianity, but he's a tough SOB. Do you ever think you'll have a match with him for the K1 Cup?
I would love that to happen in April if it was possible, but an announcement's already been made. I would love to get him one-on-one. I'd love to get anyone who holds that trophy one-on-one. I think that's a championship that I really that I didn't have the real I didn't give myself the opportunity to represent appropriately. Well, a lot of people don't know a little bit of insider stuff. I had the K1 Classic Championship and the Cruiserweight Championship at the exact same time. The issue was that for about 2 months straight, I think about 2 or 3 shows in a row, I had to defend both championships on the same day at the same time. One in the Bronx, New York, and the other one at the time, I think, East Hartford, Connecticut, for those shows. Mm-hmm. Impossible. So oftentimes I missed what could have been championship defenses for myself. And I think by the time I made it back to the Test of Strength audience, I think when I lost that championship, albeit through negative means, I feel as though management TOS is like, listen, he wasn't around anyway. I got my rematch. All of it was cool. but I think there may have been more opportunities for me to reclaim the championship had I defended it better. So I would love to get that championship back. I feel like I didn't do it the service that it was worthy of. I don't think I was a good first champion, and I would very much like to make up for that.
Now, what's this rivalry that Donton Tate tells me about? Even though I came up with this question, but he told me who it was. What's the beef between you and Chris Cage?
Yeah. Chris Cage was one of the people who helped me out in the beginning. Kind of like teacher mentor kind of situation back in 2012. When I first started learning how to wrestle, went through all the roles with me, basic moves, all that good stuff. He was there with me when I won the first cruiserweight championship. He acted like he was super supportive of me, and then completely flipped the script, joined BWF just to mess with me. We have an online beef, a real life beef, a wrestling show beef, a backstage beef.
There's a lot of beef going on.
It's a lot. We got a whole cow by the time we put it together. And actually just competed, myself and Dash and D1000 competed against him and Superstar Whiplash this past Friday night, SWF No Time to Die, which you can get online. You can check it out in the description of my Instagram. That match was very physical, ended in a disqualification, laid a nice chair right into my hip in front of a referee, and then ran out the ring instead of trying to fight. The issue for us has been long-standing. It will continue, and right now it's happening mostly in SWF and on every form of social media, because I really can't stand him, and he really can't stand me, and everybody backstage knows it. So it's very interesting when we have to work together, because everyone backstage is just like, oh, they really don't like it's not a joke. Like, they really don't care for each other, and our partners feel exactly the same, because they were there in 2012 when my partner was getting trained, and Whiplash was really helping him a lot. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And then JL Cotto gets involved. It gets very, very messy very fast.
Like you said, there could be a whole cow.
Could be a whole cow. And that was the short version.
Oh, there's more. Tune in next time on round 2, where we go from the beginning to the end of the rivalry.
So a 35-hour podcast. Totally understood.
I got time. I just need some probably some energy, like from like a pre-workout, and take like 5 shots of it. So
gallon of Red Bull.
I'm more of a Monster Energy or a Bang type of guy.
Got you. Bang with Monster. I see you.
Now, what is your diet been like? Obviously, you said you eat. Oh wait, I want to try to get this number right. 22,000 to 30,000 calories per day.
No, like about 2,700.
Oh,
so about 3,300 calories a day is what I aim for. Excuse me. So it's mostly like you get two eggs, some chicken, that kind of thing, usually for breakfast. A whole ton of fruit as like a little snack. Get a protein shake in there, mostly whey protein and various juices and milks. A lot of rice with spinach and beef. Usually 2 sets of that. There'll be another little snack in there, maybe like a PB&J, and then wrap it up with like a dinner that's heavy on steak or chicken, whichever I wasn't eating the most of earlier in the day. So there's a lot of variations of that hot mess. And when I run out of money, I just eat whatever I can get my hands on. So I'm like, you got food?
So like I assume in your life it goes wrestling, promotions, bills, food.
Pretty close to that. Like my girlfriend definitely has to get put in there somewhere. And yeah, and then the day-to-day job. That's about it.
You know, if you want some advice, Brother Greatness, the perfect time to be single out of the year is the holidays, especially Valentine's Day. That way you save money, and then you get back together after.
Listen, all my money's done right now. So I done cut it all up. I cut it all up because Christmas came, and then her birthday's in January, and then Valentine's Day is gonna hit me next. So I got her birthday next week. That's gonna be a whole thing. Gotta go right into Valentine's Day. Thank the Lord for credit.
Now, wait, let me look at my notes.
Go ahead.
Don't mind me. Oh, tell the fans why I looked through my notes. where they can find you at upcoming events. Obviously, Dear Norma. What other places?
All right. And obviously, with COVID, the list that is normally two or three shows a week has turned more into like 2 or 3 shows a month. So bear with me. Uncanny Wrestling IWTV. I know that there was a taping for that, so eventually that's gonna come out. Where I went 1-on-1 against MV Young, so that's gonna pop up eventually. IWTV Uncanny Wrestling. Just search it once every couple weeks, and it'll pop up eventually. We're gonna be in Maine, as we were talking about before the podcast started. I'll be in Maine, Vacationland Pro Wrestling, debuting with that group in Brewer, Maine. So that's going to be Saturday, February 6th. So very excited for that. My debut in the state of Maine. I know a lot of the New England folks can probably make the drive if they feel up to it. So that'll be a good one. Also, same promotion in March. I will be there with a tag team partner, which I will not mention at this time. But I think people will be very excited to see the pending partnership. IWW, Industrial Wrestling. They're going to be coming out with a show pretty soon. I believe that's going to be showing in March, which will also be a live taping. And then, of course, Dear Norma in April. I think that's pretty much it right now. SWF Mega Slam in April as well. Not 100% sure what the match will be, but it is essentially their Super Bowl, so you can expect some crazy things. Last time I was there, it was a multi-man cruiserweight title match, 7-way, including people like Monte Kia and Smiley. So you can expect big things out of a show like that.
Now, looking back at my notes, oh damn it, I just had it and I lost it. I'm so unprepared.
We're gonna have to get you a little tablet so you can hit the control find. Just like, haha, I got it.
Exactly. Oh, here it is. And now, Karen Bam Bam, you obviously know who that is. She'll be on my show tomorrow. According to my notes that I've had that I got myself, you had a variety show with her on YouTube. What was that about?
Yeah, so it was just a general variety show, Chocolate Greatness. I think we did like 8 or 9 episodes. That was season 1. Season 2 will be in production in about 3 weeks. We were just trying to show people pretty much more or less local independent talent in a different light, asking interesting questions that a lot of people just might not. And oftentimes it turns into wrestlers coming on and insulting me. I turned the other cheek. Only got 2 cheeks. I don't know why they want me to keep turning, but keep trying to turn the other cheek. And it's honestly, it was a lot of fun. With the exception of Dan the Man, because Dan the Man is more on that later. But really fun time, great show. You get to see a lot of Karen Bam Bam's personality, and you get to get a different viewpoint on a lot of wrestlers that I think a lot of fans are accustomed to seeing in the Northeast.
Now, obviously, you just mentioned Dan the Man, and you kind of threw his name to the side. What's with that, huh?
Dan the Man, consider a watered down version of the Chris Cage situation. And it's funny because I don't think me and him have ever wrestled. I don't think we've ever been seen together on a show, but we've been backstage together at the Bronx Wrestling Federation, Test of Strength. Probably missing someplace in my mind. ECPW. We've been backstage together at places like that, and we have a very interesting relationship. I often question the Team Shazam situation, like everyone else does. He has very specific terms and words for me. I call him the Great Colonizer because he just runs around and steals people for his group. We don't agree very well, so backstage at any TOS show, if you hear any loud screaming backstage, it's usually me and Dan the Man. Dan the Man and I just kind of going nuts on each other. So, and of course, Karen has her current feud with him. He'll be her guest referee as she faces Vicious Vicky in April. So, Dan, not a fan. Not a fan. Actually, if I had to choose anyone to wrestle at Test of Strength in April, And without championship implications, it would be Dan the Man. I really would like to spend a little bit of time speaking to his soul in the ring. Put it like that.
Now, where did you come up with your character for Brother Greatness?
It's more or less me to an 11. Back in 2012, I was looking to decide what to do and decide what portion of myself I really want to break out to the world. And my first thought was like, why can't I make professional wrestling kind of, as opposed to joining a choir or what have you, kind of make that my expression of my faith. So that's what that was. But then in 2014, and I was actually considering kind of leaning away from it because it's a very difficult thing to do. No one wants to talk religion. No one wants to talk faith. No one wants to have serious conversations about that stuff. So you got to be very cautious about the way you go about it. So I was going to leave it alone and actually broke my skull in 2014. And I wasn't supposed to be able to wrestle again. So I got retrained. I was very lucky to be alive. I got retrained after I was cleared, which wasn't supposed to happen. And when it was time for me to get back into wrestling and I had this opportunity to reinvent myself, I wasn't around that long. No one would have noticed if Brother Greatness went missing and became a different person or a different character. But I was just like, no, I have to give all thanks and praise to Jesus Christ because I shouldn't be alive, much less wrestling. So every time I go out there, my very first thought is, praise God, because if it wasn't for him, I don't want to start preaching, but like if it wasn't for the Lord, like that's my testimony. Like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be alive today because I should have died. And that's something that I have to remind myself of consistently every time I come out as a blessing. So that's why the first thing I say when I come out is hallelujah. Hallelujah is praise the Lord. Like, thank God that I'm here to do this. And it's funny that it became such a big fan thing now. Everybody's like, yeah, hallelujah. And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm like, y'all have no idea how deep this goes for me. But yeah, that's why I always, when people say, hey, the gimmick, and I'm just like, yeah, it is technically a gimmick. No insult taken, but it's really not. It's just my faith. This is how I speak. This is how I think. This is how I talk. Definitely curse a little bit more in my daily life, but outside of that, it's the same guy you see in the ring is more or less the same guy on the day-to-day. I'm very loud at work and they get very annoyed. Praise up. Yes.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for you to call on me.
Yeah, it took me a second to get it. I'm sorry. I thought you put up the praise hand. I was like, yeah, you gotta believe him.
Oh, we can do that too. Like, is it like a high five thing?
Yeah, I thought you were going praise hand. I thought you were like giving up glory.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, I thought that's what was coming. I wasn't sure. Yes, sir. My apologies.
No, it's fine.
You asked me about Jesus. I get excited.
No. So that's actually really touching. Like that, I never even knew that you broke your skull. Like I don't know much about you, but that's crazy. Do you mind if I ask how you broke your skull?
Yeah. It's a very bad story. Long story short, 2012 I got trained. 2013 I started getting to wrestle. I was still in training, low on funds. So I couldn't really wrestle because I had no money to continue training. I wasn't good enough to start hitting the road. I started wrestling in parks and crap, doing the backyard wrestling thing. Broke my skull there. This was the group I was with when I was a kid. Went back to them. I was still super young. And there was a whole miscommunication. Dude elbowed me right in the center here. So that fractured the entire left side of my skull, and I have like one fracture in the right. So they had to cut it open. Bear with me, my hair's a mess. I don't know if you
put the hat back on.
It was like I got a little scar there. They had to cut straight across, pull my face open, put some screws in, nets, the whole 9 yards, and then sew it back together. So that's what that was.
So you're kind of like a human ragdoll, sort of.
Something like that. I definitely call that something that's a little bit unique.
Now, on your Facebook, I'm not going to say what your Facebook is, but obviously Facebook allows you to share stories. And when I click on your story, it's kind of like a podcast thing with you and Dash and D, and it seems to you always both are arguing with each other or something like that. Can you explain what's going on with that?
Oh,
'Cause I'm
man,
really
listen.
confused.
That's just what we do. Yeah, no, our partnership is very close to I know everyone claims brotherhood and like brother, but we kind of very much have this like older brother, younger brother kind of mentality. So, we spend a lot of time like playfully arguing and going back and forth, and that's just how it is. He's a fair deal older than me. And we kind of bounce off of each other in an interesting way. So you have that best friend you just argue with in front of everyone. They're like, "Oh, you hate him." I'm like, "What are you talking about? That's my guy."
Yeah.
That's just our relationship. If anyone ever, we have to start recording our drives because it's just us going crazy. It's like, "Hey, you missed the exit. I'm sorry. I don't like to drive." Like it's very loud and entertaining.
Now, so obviously you said that he's a year older than you, but it's like a little brother, big brother. Do you ever think that you're the big brother?
Nah, no, I can't lie. Like, no, I'd say the only thing is, I usually talk to promoters more than he would, when it's time to figure out dates and stuff. That's probably the only thing that it's like, oh, I'm kind of more the older brother in that situation. Because I'm usually dealing with that stuff, and I'm usually the one that's behind the wheel driving to the shows. But besides that, nope, 100%, nope. Dash is the older brother. If I start getting a little crazy, he gives me a side eye. I'm just like, oop, sorry, my apologies. Can't mess with Big Brother Dash.
Now we are actually coming up on the actually 30 minutes. We're about 4 minutes away, but I still have a couple questions for you, so don't worry. You're not off the hook yet. So, have you ever maybe brought out a Bible with you to the ring and used that as a weapon?
It's funny. A lot of people tell me I should. I'll come up sometimes to the ring with the Bible. Very rarely. I have this whole mentality, and I think every wrestler should take this. Don't bring anything to the ring that you would have a problem with it getting used or abused in any way. Mm-hmm. So, we've come out with a bunch of things before. I won't even bring up Dash because he's come up with so many items. But I've come out with flags, different robes, various different robes, different hats, bandanas, all kind of stuff. And of course the Holy Bible. But my biggest fear would be that someone takes out the Bible and does something with it that's heavily disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you get a guy that's just like, I'm going to rip the pages out of this Bible now. I'm just like, that's completely unacceptable. That's not going to work for me. Mm-hmm. I've come out with a collection plate. I've gotten hit over the head with the collection plate. Like, there's a lot of things but I've always said, once again, it's a fine line. I don't want to mess with the Holy Bible. That's the one thing I'm not gonna cross. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever maybe faced someone that's like a sinner, like in wrestling, obviously, and maybe you brought out some holy water and threw it at them, like they're possessed?
One time and one time only. I had a manager. Her name was Kiki Van Gogh. She's training somewhere else right now. She's waiting to come back. But we had a match in Pennsylvania for Outbreak Pro Wrestling in 2017. I want to say I wrestled Henry Lee Height, who, if you don't know him, he's just this huge dude covered in blood who kills people. That's what he does. Yeah, big boy. So during the match, Kiki actually took out some holy water and spritzed him with it. So that was pretty great. That was the only time we ever did anything with holy water. Yeah, he needed some prayer.
Would you ever bring out holy water if you ever faced the Boogeyman in a match?
Oh no, what I'll bring for the Boogeyman, because I'm not dealing with all these worms. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna bring out soap and water to clean myself post match. A little Listerine. We need some I need some bleach for the Boogeyman.
Bleach.
Pour him down with some Clorox.
Hey, now's the time to try to find that because it is a pandemic still, so it's going out everywhere. So what are your favorite places to travel to and why?
I think for wrestling, my favorite place to go to, just for the environment, test of strength. Backstage is just almost everyone, except for Dan, Everyone else is pretty much sweet. I'm sorry, Dan, man. I can't stand Dan. He drives me nuts. But backstage at Test of Strength is great. Really, really nice environment. Great fan base. I think Don Kincaid's one of the few fans I feel comfortable just being like, "Hey, how you doing?" And knowing that it's not going to be like super weird or anything. Yeah, Test of Strength definitely great place to travel to, whether it's in the school on Church Street or one of the other locations. It's always fun. Yeah, I think that beats everything else.
What are your favorite places to travel to and have great food there? You gotta think about this one, huh?
I do. I mean, there's a Cracker Barrel not far from Springfield that I love going to at the end of a show at NAW, Springfield, Massachusetts. And there's a couple I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but there's a restaurant in Dover, Delaware that I really enjoyed going to, and I used to travel out there.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. What's your favorite thing to get at Cracker Barrel?
Anything. If it comes out sizzling, I want it.
Now, before we end, I like to flip the script on my guest. Is there anything that you'd like to ask me?
Who's your favorite wrestler at TOS? Don't say me. Who's your favorite wrestler at TOS?
Dan the Man.
Dan the Man's your favorite. Any reason why?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, because I'm about to get going. I'm like, damn, man, the colonizer, that lowly brute with the big belly.
Danos is also named for him too because he thinks he's Thanos.
Put no respect on Danos, none. And he stole the color purple from the congregation. Don't think he got it from Thanos. He took the color from us. He's a thief, a lowlife, a miscreant, uncouth, disgusting, and very rude.
Let's see. I've only been to actually two TOS shows actually. So one in September and then one in October, and I actually went to the open house in June there that they had. It was fun. I tripped getting in the ring, but I'm trying to think who's my favorite wrestler. Karen Bam Bam is awesome. She's just so great at what she does. When she comes out from the curtain, she's just so sweet to see. So
yeah, she's sweet. That's a good choice.
Yeah. There's it's all about the crowd there. It's not about like, oh, I want to beat you for this title. They like to involve the crowd. It's like a whole family there. So
yeah, no, it's a beautiful place. That's honestly why it's my favorite place to go. They're good people.
Mm-hmm.
They're good people.
Except being out in the cold there, and especially in October, and like everyone just waiting for the fire to get started, and at least an outdoor. There, I don't know if you remember, but there's like that outdoor heater, like that was in the middle, like in front of the bar, and it wasn't turned on at all. What? You can't hear me? I can't hear you. Hello? Hang on.
All right, that says speaker off. All right.
Hello? I can hear you.
I can kind of hear you.
Brother Greatness.
I can hear you just very like you're low, but I can hear you.
Hello. I'm in your living room. I don't know. All right. Well, because I don't know what the audio issue is now. Thank you for coming on to the show. I really appreciate it. Is there anything that you'd like to promote?
Yeah, every show I said before. Especially Maine, February 6th. Brewer, Maine, Vacation Line Pro Wrestling. Definitely going to be a great show. I'll be in a singles contest. More on that on social media. Please like the Brother Greatness fan page. Just type in Brother Greatness. I should pop up. The Congregation Wrestling, Facebook. Instagram, Brother Greatness 2012. So Brother Greatness 2012. And I can also be found on Instagram. Brother Greatness is the handle there. Yeah, those are my big ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, follow him on all his social medias. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next interview.